Level 1. Better chance of getting struck by lightning than any of these teams winning the championship. First off, of course we got the Wizards. This team is bad, man. Like, really bad. So bad, I saw them post their starting lineup the other day, and one of their fans said this is the worst starting lineup in NBA history. Bub Carrington, CJ McCollum, Keyshawn George, Justin Champagnie, and Marvin Bagley. Just brutal. They're 3-18 right now. I guess Alex Sarr is kinda good. I'd be lying if I said he was a complete bum. But does anyone look at the Wizards and is like, oh yeah, this team is gonna be a lock for the playoffs next year? No. No one says that. And if you're not a lock for the playoffs next year, and you're still rebuilding since you had John Wall, you belong in this first level. Bad teams. Although Chris Middleton hitting game winner on his old team is kinda nasty, but outside Sarr, McCollum, Middleton, and I guess Keyshawn George, and maybe Trey Johnson too, this is a bad NBA team. But after them, let's move a little north, the Brooklyn Nets. Also a terrible team. I just pulled up their depth chart, and you can make a real case it's worse than the Wizards. Demon, Terrence Mann, MPJ, Noah Clowney, Nick Claxton. That's the starting lineup they're working with. Just not good. And if you watch net games, MPJ just guns the whole game. It doesn't matter where he gets the ball. And honestly, I can't even blame him. It's just bad basketball all around. Although somehow Nick Claxton gets triple doubles and I don't really understand it. I can't remember a Nick Claxton triple double in my whole life, and this season they happen like once a week. Side note, could you please subscribe if you want to see more content like this? I'm thinking about posting a lot more, and only gonna do it if you guys want to see it. Thanks. Anyways, on to our next team in this tier, we got the Clippers. I'm genuinely sorry if you're a Clipper fan, because this team should be really good. Harden's averaging 27, 6, and 8, playing like an elite version of himself. Kawhi doesn't play, but when he does, he averages 26 and 6. Zubac averages 16 and 12. Surely they're good. Until you look and see they're one of the worst teams in the Western Conference, 6 and 17. But the thing is, at least they'll get one of the top picks in the draft this year. Until you realize that pick goes to OKC, the Clippers are cooked. It's actually over. They're the oldest team in the NBA. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA. Their draft pick goes to a team that doesn't lose and is going to win a back-to-back championship. Honestly, the Clippers don't deserve to be down in this level just because they're bad. They deserve to be in this level because the hell they're going to put the league through for the next 15 years. Giving that pick to OKC is criminal. Anyways, next team, we got the Pelicans. The Pelicans are also another really brutal team. I actually met a Pelicans fan for the first time the other day, and he would just tell me how much the team sucked. They're 3-21. Their franchise player, who, don't get me wrong, I love Zion, one of my favorite players ever, but the guy physically can't stay on the court. It's actually sad at this point, because he's genuinely a beast when he plays. I mean, pretty easily the most dominant college player I could ever remember. Trey Murphy's also kinda nice, but he just didn't take the jump I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to take like an all-NBA jump. This team is pretty much banking on a Queen of Fears to become the next Shaq and Kobe. Cause Pelicans fans, close your ears. They gave up their unprotected pick in the upcoming draft for Derek Queen. Honestly, this level could pretty much be called front office incompetence level, which would lead perfectly into our next team. And the final team of this level, the Sacramento Kings. The Kings have a Clippers issue. Old and bad. The easiest way to put it. They're 5-17, the second worst team in the West. Their best players are like Levine, Westbrook, DeRozan, Sabonis. I don't really know what their plan is. Keegan Murray was supposed to be the second coming of like a Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis hybrid after his rookie season, but I don't know what happened there. I still remember that time he hit 11 straight threes where he dropped 47. I was sure he was the next Peja Stojakovic, but he's the Kings' really only hope for their future. Unless you're putting the future in Precious Achiuwa's hands, then that's that. Well, yeah, that's level 5, the teams that are complete disasters. But that would bring us to level 2, teams that at least have some kind of young talent going for them, but still aren't very good. First up, we got the Hornets. The Hornets are really only in here because of a few guys. I mean, check this lineup. LaMelo, good sometimes, but overall a good player. Concanupal, dog, rookie of the year favorite. Brandon Miller, not a dog this year and massive injury problems, but overall dog. Miles Bridges, 20 points per game, inconsistent but solid. Kalk, dog, blocks every shot. So yeah, the Hornets low-key got a little thing going for them. We'll see how far it takes because they're insanely incompetent every single year, but they got something. I also never understood how you could be so incompetent but have arguably the greatest player ever as your owner, but that's a different story. But yeah, the Hornets aren't good. Like, they're definitely bad. 7-16. Like, I'm sure every team looks forward to playing them when they see the Hornets on the schedule, but they do have some good young pieces, so maybe they'll be good in a couple years. So for now, I'm putting them in the second tier of developing young core. But speaking of teams that other teams look forward to when they see them on the schedule, the Utah Jazz. This is a team that every team wants to play every night. I just watched the Knicks go up 23-0 on this team. Honestly, I didn't even know that was possible. They bricked every shot, but that's why they're 8-14. And if you're a fan of one of the teams like the Nets or the Wizards, you're probably thinking, why are the Jazz in developing young core when we're in the first tier? Honestly, it's because of two players. First, Keontae George took a leap I didn't even think he was capable of. Granted, I'm not watching the Utah Jazz play every night, but 23 points and 7 assists is legit for anyone, especially a 22-year-old. And also, Walker Kessler, that guy is so good. I know he's out for the season, but he's still a Jazz player, so he counts. Walker Kessler is actually so good that it's kind of annoying. You don't think he's good till you look at the box score and box score watch like I do. 22-9 versus the Clippers on a 100% field goal. The Kings game didn't happen. 25-11, 4-4 versus the Suns on 75%. 18-12-4 versus the Blazers. This guy is just a great basketball center, and that's all you could really say. And not to mention Larry Markkinen, who averages like 50 points. I'm not mentioning him though because they're in the developing young core group, and he's almost 30 at this point. But yeah, that's level 2. Young teams who have some sort of hope, or basically bad teams who are being saved by Concanupal, Walker Kessler, and Keontae George. Level 3. Teams who at their best will win a play-in series and get eliminated in the first round. Maybe they'll make the second round. Maybe. First off, in level 3, we got the Chicago Bulls. To start the season off, the Bulls look like the 96 Bulls. For a little, it looked like the Thunder gave up the wrong point guard in the Alex Caruso trade, and that Shea would have been a more fair trade, until the Bulls came back to earth. Right now, I'm filming this, and they lost 6 straight. I still don't understand how they never traded Vooch. The guy fits everything but the Bulls timeline. But on the bright side, Giddey is absolutely hooping. 20, 10, and 9. Probably never a player I've been more wrong about in their first couple seasons than Josh Giddey. Imagine he gets that assist up and board up 1, then we're saying the only players ever to average a triple-double in a season: Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook, Nikola Jokic, and Josh Giddey. That's the kind of season he's having. Pretty easily an all-star, so shout out to him. Although this is a Bulls video and not a Giddey video, the Bulls came back to reality. They're going to be a play-in team like they are every single season. If they somehow make the playoffs, they'll lose in the first round, and that's that. The annual Bulls cycle. But right after them, we got their division rival, the Bucks. I considered putting the Bucks in the first tier, but technically, Giannis is still a Buck at the time I'm doing this, so I can't put a team that employs Giannis in this tier. Although he basically did just say he wants to be traded. Why do I feel like he's going to end up on the Spurs with Wemby? I don't know. But at this very moment, the Bucks are 10-14. They lose basically every game they play. If Giannis is there, they'll probably sneak into the play-in. I'm not sure if they'll make the playoffs, but they are the 10 seed right now, so we'll see. But this whole team relies on one guy. If Giannis gets traded, we're looking at a Ryan Rollins and KPJ-led team. Although, Ryan Rollins is kind of nasty. I'm not too sure where that came from, but shout out to him. But the Bucks are just like the Bulls. They're just such a play-in team every single year. And I know it's sad, but I think the same could be said about the Hawks. Coming into this year, I was sure the Hawks were a contender. I don't know what made me think that, but if you told me they were 13-11 at this point, I'd be disappointed and put them in that level 3 play-in teams. So here we are. I feel like they just lose a lot. They lose games they should win a lot too. I saw them lose to the Wizards the other day. That can't happen if you're a serious basketball team, but this team does have some players I look at and think they could be legit pieces on a championship team. Jalen Johnson's going to join that Oscar, Russ, Jokic, Giddey category if he just gets 3 more assists. Alexander Walker became the better cousin over the offseason. Porzingis doesn't play, but he's good when he does. Trae Young doesn't play, and he's not good when he does. So yeah, the Hawks are confusing, but At least they have one great piece in Jalen Johnson, and that's better than what most other teams have. Although, again, they're just such a playing team. But moving on, the Portland Trail Blazers. Also, a team that kind of surprised me this season. Not that they're great, or not that they're even really good, but they're 9-14, and I feel like their record doesn't really show how good they've been. They dealt with that whole coaching thing earlier this season with Chauncey Billups. Now Tiago Splitter runs this team. Didn't even know he was on the staff. Denny Avia is an elite basketball player. 26 points and 6 assists. Somehow, he's only 24 years old too, and I feel like he's got to be like 27 at least at this point. Shaedon Sharpe also averages 21 points, and he's only 22 years old. Jeremy Grant and Drew Holiday are still good vets. Lillard's basically the assistant coach out there now, and they're the 10 seed, so they're the last playing team, but they are the only team that beat OKC this year, so that's got to account for something. But after them, we got the Suns, and if there's one team that fully surprised me this season, it's the Phoenix Suns. I still don't know how they're 13-10. Dillon Brooks and Grayson Allen turned into what the Suns thought KD and Beal was going to be. I just genuinely didn't expect the Suns to be this good at all. So good for you, Suns fans. You guys deserve this after that completely failed super team. But after them, we got another West team, the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, I don't really know what to think about them. They aren't really good, but they have some good young players. Zach Edey's a beast. Cedric Coward's a beast. Jaren Jackson's good. I just don't really know the Grizzlies' plan. I think they're going to trade Ja at some point. I just don't really see another way. Maybe they'll just turn around, build everything around Zach Edey, then build him a statue. Joking. I think I'm joking. The guy puts up ridiculous numbers. 19-15, 32-17, 15-19, or Dennis Rodman's stat line. 21-15. This guy's good. Way better than I thought he was going to be. But the Grizzlies are still 10-13, a play-in team, so I'll put them here. And that's it for level 3. Level 4. Competitive teams who are flawed for certain reasons. Mainly injuries. First, the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics are still good. They're 14-9. Jaylen Brown seems to have taken that next step. I didn't even know if he was going to be able to do it. He's averaging 29, 6, and 5 on a team that's a 5 seed. So yeah, that's good. Of course, the reason they're in the flawed category is because Tatum, the guy tore his Achilles in the playoffs last year. If he was healthy, obviously they'd be in that first tier, but unfortunately he's not. But I do gotta say, the guy I thought was gonna take a huge leap, Derek White, and that just did not happen. He's actually been worse than he was last year. So maybe he's just really an elite third option. But yeah, the Celtics, good, but flawed. And the same could be said about the Sixers. The Sixers have really good pieces, but Joel Embiid, he doesn't play basketball games. He's played 8 games so far this season, and in those 8 games, he's playing 24 minutes per game. So yeah, this is the Sixers' flaw. Tyrese Maxey has taken a complete next step. The guy looks like a top 10 player. You could probably even make a case for top 5. VJ Edgecombe and Quentin Grimes, also really good. It's just, the flaw. The former MVP doesn't play the sport of basketball anymore. But right after them, we can move to the Warriors. The Warriors are okay. They're 11-12. But the Warriors' flaw is kind of a mix of some different things. First, they don't really have any great big men. And besides that, their age. They're only going to go as far as Steph Curry takes them. And Steph is like 37 at this point. So how far can he really carry them by himself? Don't get me wrong, he's still elite. He's averaging 27, he leads the league in threes, he put up 50 this year. But if you're not going to surround him with anyone else who could average 20 points per game, you're going to be in trouble. And then, after Steph and Jimmy, their next highest scorer is DeAnthony Melton, who averages 14 points and played in 1 game. So yeah, that team is cooked. But after them, we're going to talk about another injury-flawed team, the Indiana Pacers. I really considered putting the Pacers in the first tier. They're 5-18 right now, but I just couldn't because they made the finals last year and it didn't really feel right. And obviously, they aren't good because their best player just tore his Achilles in the playoffs, so I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Now, if Haliburton comes back and they still play like this, they're going straight into that first tier. But the thing is, you almost feel bad for Siakam. 25, 7, and 4, all NBA numbers right there. But this team is just not good. They also have a real health problem. Siakam is the only one of their top 6 scorers who play more than 5 games. Quentin Jackson and Obi Toppin combined for 8 games. Mathurin's balling, but he's only played 12 so far. So yeah, the Pacers, bad, but giving them the benefit of the doubt because their best player's hurt and they're coming off a finals appearance. But right after them, we got the Mavs. I almost don't want to give the Mavs the benefit of the doubt, and I kind of just want to put them in the bottom tier. But Kyrie is out, AD barely plays, Cooper Flag is good, so I'll put them here. I mean, that's a good 3 players when they're all healthy. Honestly, going into the year, the Mavs were my dark horse team to win it all, but they're just unhealthy. They're 8-16. They shouldn't even be in the competitive but flawed category. They should just be in the flawed category. They traded the guy that's going to lead the league in scoring and maybe win MVP for Max Christie and 12 games of Anthony Davis. And then they fired the guy who made the trade. They're dysfunctional, no doubt, but injuries do play a huge part of the dysfunction. So personally, it's so easy to hate on the Mavs, and I completely see why people do it, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and put them in the competitive but flawed category. I think that's fair. Level 5. Just good basketball teams who have a chance to make real noise in the playoffs. The Raptors have completely surprised me this season. I still can't believe they're 15-9. To me, I didn't think Brandon Ingram was going to work out here. They already have RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes. 3 guys who are basically kind of very similar, but it's working. I mean, quickly, Ingram, Barrett, Barnes, Pirtle, that has to be one of the most, that's solid lineups of the last 20 years in the NBA. Not one bad player, not one all-NBA player, just 5 good basketball players that are all going out there and playing basketball together. I don't know why I don't have too much confidence in this team come playoff time. I don't think I officially bought the hype yet. Maybe I'm still sleeping. Definitely possible. But besides them, the other really solid playoff team, I got the Miami Heat. The Heat are a team I just wouldn't want to play in the playoffs. Right now they're 14-9, but for some reason, Spo always gets his role players playing like the second coming of Wade James Bosch. I don't know how he does it. First, it was Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, and Caleb Martin. Now it's Simone Fontecchio, Jaquez, and Pele Larson. And not to mention Norman Powell averages 25 points per game on over 50% from the field. The guy is 32 and gets better every single year. He's going to average 40 points by the time he's 40 years old. And then on top of that, they still have Bam and Hero. I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat made one of those annoying Miami Heat finals runs. They're definitely a team who's annoying to play, and with the East pretty much wide open, they're definitely competitors in the conference. But those are the only 2 teams I put in this level. Level 6. I don't really think it's going to happen, but if they're holding the trophies in June, there's a part of me that would say this kind of makes sense. First off, we got the Pistons. You'd be lying if you thought the Pistons were going to be this good this season. The 1 seed, really, 15-8, no one saw that coming. Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren look like the Shaq and Kobe I mentioned the Pelicans hope Fears and Queen become. Duren took a leap nobody saw coming. 19-11, Cade Cunningham took a leap everyone saw coming. 28-6-9. The Pistons are really good. The only thing is they're kind of young, and they only have 1 year of playoff experience. I mean, who knows though? They can very well make the finals. I mentioned the East is wide open. They're just good. But if you think about it, they're only 2 years removed of being like a 10-win team, and now they're the 1 seed. Level 1 teams, that's how you do a rebuild. But after them, we got the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves have made the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row now, but somehow they still don't have a point guard. Dante DiVincenzo, well-known NBA point guard. And I love DiVincenzo, don't get me wrong, but I don't really think he's a point guard. But they're 14-8, so maybe he is. Anthony Edwards gets better every year. Julius Randle is balling this year, especially to start the season. The Wolves are just one of those teams that you kind of gotta respect, because you never expect to come playoff time, and then somehow they just hang with the best teams. I kind of want to see a OKC Timberwolves playoff series again. It's just elite basketball. But right after the Wolves, we got the Magic. And if there's one team I would hate to play in a 7-game series, it's gotta be the Magic. They just play so hard on defense. It's kind of annoying at some points. You just gotta pray they can't shoot from 3 the night you play them. Franz and Paolo have been great this year, especially Franz. Bayan, if he picks it up, the Magic are gonna be elite. And in my opinion, their defense already makes them elite. They're 14-9, and some of their losses are so dumb that you question if they're a real team. And then the next night, they hold your favorite team to 14 points in a quarter. Point guards have to hate playing Jalen Suggs, and then he checks out, and then Anthony Black checks in. But anyways, let's go back west. Another dark horse contender, the San Antonio Spurs. Their playoffs rely on one word, Victor Wembanyama. If he's healthy, that sucks for whoever has to play them in the playoffs. If he's not healthy, that sucks for the Spurs. But the Spurs are still 15-7. They still win games without Wemby. De'Aaron Fox still averages 25. Everyone seems to forget he exists. Castle also averages 7.5 assists. I don't know when that happened, but look at this. 12 games, 14 games, 13 games. That's the Spurs issue. It's just health. If they're healthy, everybody knows how good they are. But the last team I'm putting in this category, the Cavs. If you told me 2 months ago the Cavs wouldn't be in the top tier, I wouldn't believe you. But now they're 14-10. I honestly don't know what went wrong in Cleveland. Mobley beat the 18-8 allegations. He's at 19-9. So you'd think they'd be better than they were last year, but no. I guess Ty Jerome was that good. I don't know. But everything this team does relies on Donovan Mitchell. If he plays bad, they lose. If he plays good, they still lose, but they win sometimes. I honestly wanted to put the Cavs in the top tier, but I physically couldn't with how bad they've been. They should have the Eastern Conference by a string, but they don't. They aren't good right now, so they're in level 6. Dark horse contenders. Level 7. OKC and a few other teams that have a chance if Shea gets hurt or something else really goes wrong in OKC, but realistically have no chance. But it would be boring if I only put OKC in the top tier. Alright, let's start with OKC. They're 22-1 right now. If they don't actually win it all, it would be a huge disappointment. But the 73-9 Warriors didn't, so you never know. But it feels like OKC wins every single game they play by 100 points. 29, 32, 27, 21. They just blow teams out, except when they play that Dillon Brooks, Grayson Allen team. But the question is, if OKC wins it all, gets the best record of all time, they gotta be in that 96 Bulls, 17 Warriors conversation. How could you leave them out of it? And the thing is, 90% of their wins this season were without Jalen Williams, but he's back, and they just keep winning. Also, like we mentioned, they own that Clippers potential first overall pick, so yeah. This level is OKC, and teams preying on an OKC downfall for a chance at a ring this year. And the next of those teams will be the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are 16-6 right now, but when you have Nikola Jokic, you're always going to be in this tier. I don't really get it, but it seems like Jokic gets better every single year. The guy's averaging 29, 12, and 11. He might win his 4th MVP. You can make a case he should be winning his 6th in a row this year. It's just dumb at this point. Then Jamal Murray's also having a career year. He's averaging 25, 5, and 7 on over 50%. And you know Jamal's always going to turn up in the playoffs. So the Nuggets are definitely a team to watch. Not that we're not already watching them, but if there's one team that I think could be a healthy OKC, it's them. But then we got the Lakers. If this was before the season, I'd probably put them in solid playoff team level, but Austin Reeves has been too good not to put them here. They're 16-6. They're ahead of the Nuggets in the standings. Luka averages 35 points per game and leads the NBA in scoring. He also averages 9 rebounds and 9 assists. Ayton's been okay. LeBron finally feels like he's 40, but he's still LeBron. I mean, a lot would need to go right for the Lakers to win the championship, but I feel like they're a top 5 team in the league as of right now, so I'm going to ride with them in this tier just because of how good their top-heavy talent is. But then we got our only Eastern Conference team in this tier, the Knicks. The Knicks are currently 15-7. I think they're 12-1 at Madison Square Garden, so if they get home court advantage in the playoffs, that's going to be a problem for whoever they have to play. Jalen Brunson's averaging 28 points per game, and we know he always gets better in the playoffs. Mikal Bridges looks like a completely different player this year. Deuce McBride apparently can't miss shots. He went from 25% shooter when he came into the league to 44% this year from deep. Don't know how that's possible, but yeah, they got a great roster. Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, Cat. The Knicks are probably most people's favorites to come out of the East, and if you're going to go to the finals, you got to be in the top tier. But lastly, we got the last team, the Houston Rockets. The Rockets are as good as everyone expected them to be, 15-5, second in the West. They still don't have a point guard with VanVleet out, and they start 5 8-footers. And you can make a case for that being the biggest flaw come playoff time, no real point guard, which would be extremely valid, but they've been really good so far. Thompson took the next step, he's averaging 18, 7, and 5. KD is still KD, 25 points per game on over 50%. Sengun is also elite, 23, 9, and 7. And when your big three has these stat lines, you're going to be great. So yeah, the Rockets, the last team in the video. And I would truly greatly appreciate it if you guys could subscribe. It's the only thing that really tells me you guys want me to go full in on this channel. Thank you for watching.